Oh, not again. Sam?
Good.
Something's wrong.
Yeah, this doesn't feel right.
How come?
Are you?
I think you are.
No, you're in mine.
Are you in mine?
Okay.
We need to do this properly. So I think one of us gets up and goes that way, and one goes that way.
Okay.
Who's going to go?
What?
Rock, paper, scissors.
Oh, okay. What the hell?
Okay, so which way are you going? We didn't decide that to begin with.
I'm going this way.
Okay, I'll go this way. Okay. All is right with the world again.
Yep.
Oh. We have a present. And he's got a new scarf.
Very shiny.
Hello. Did you say anything?
Anything at all?
I mean, in all fairness, you could be saying loads. But how would we ever know?
We've got a couple of presents here.
Okay, well, which one? I'll take that one.
You take that one.
Okay.
So, Scrooged.
And it's a wonderful life.
Did Chris manage to leave us a present?
A Christmas gift. That seems appropriate.
It does. Oh, is it getting close to Christmas time?
I think it must be,
I see lights, I see glitter, I see
mulled wine.
mulled wine and seasonal movies.
There you go.
Oh, thank you. Here,
That's probably the easiest way of doing it.
The smells of the season.
It was like this about this time last year, wasn't it?
Has it been that long already?
At least we're in the right seats. That's the main thing.
We're in the right seats, and apparently, with a couple of movies. Gosh, that's hot. Couple of movies to look at.
Okay, well, before we get into that, let's just say hello.
How do?
A happy start of Advent to those of you who choose to observe it. And for those of you who don't, hello. I've already said that. Just repeating myself. Never mind. Welcome back to a new month of Maybe Movies. My name's Max.
And I am Sam.
And we are trapped in a parallel dimension, which we call the Delirium. Which looks suspiciously like a flat.
And not in any way like one of our flats.
Not at all. That's purely coincidental. And if you're new to the channel, then what we do is we take a couple of great films. We swap out characters from those films into the opposite movie, and then discuss over the course of the month how new films could be made with the different protagonists. Do the plots of the original film still hold up? How would they need to be altered to make them work? If we can. This month, then, it looks like we are going to be looking at, as we've already said, It's a Wonderful Life.
And Scrooged. Which is going to cause a problem with the naming convention, because there's only one word there.
I think I might have something for that.
Okay.
We'll come to that in due course. Just before we do, as we always do, a very quick shout out. And this week is for Skullfeck. Skullfeck.
F-E-C-K.
Just in case you misheard. Which is the channel of a guy called Phil. Looks like it's mostly gaming content. Mm-hmm. But he's got a really nice, quite dry delivery. Mm-hmm. Which I found quite watchable. Especially check out his recent video of playing the demo for a new game called They Are Here.
They Are Here, yes. Just watched that one.
Which is about little grey men coming from beyond the stars. Anyway. But yeah, do give it a look. It's well worth it. Another quick point I just wanted to make as well, because recently we, for the third time in about a month and a half, reached or exceeded 110 subscribers. at which point YouTube goes, no! Back down you go. And this is happening every time we get to this milestone within a matter of hours. So if you do like what we do here, and if you do want to throw us a subscription, then thank you very much. Just to make sure that your subscription sticks, then please do watch one or two of our videos. Make sure you watch at least 5 to 10 minutes of that video. Leave a comment that's normally about 2 to 3 sentences long that comments on the content of the particular video. And most importantly, hit the notification bell, because that's something that bots can't do.
We realise this is quite a lot to ask of you, but unfortunately the algorithm at YouTube is being evil to us, and we are just doing our best to defend ourselves. So please, help us out. We really appreciate your support.
We really do. The other thing I would say is, if you've come to us because we've recently liked one of your videos and subscribed to your channel, what I've tend to find is, don't sub straight back to us. Give it at least 8 to 12 hours. That seems to be a kind of a time frame during which, if you sub back to someone who's recently subbed to you, then they will assume that you're doing sub for sub, which is something that we've never condoned and that we don't engage in ourselves. So it's just a way of circumventing that. Thank you. Public service announcement over. So,
Right.
two great films.
2 really great films, 2 of my favourite Christmas films of all time, which makes 3 of my favourite Christmas films of all time we've done so far.
Yes. You mean...
Along with Die Hard.
Oh, yes, of course. Yes.
All we need to do now is National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation and Gremlins, and you'll have my top 5.
Have I ever done a top 5 of Christmas films?
It's not something I normally do, but I was thinking about it earlier because I realised there's a lot of my favourites that were there,
Yeah.
and I suddenly realised, we're only 2 of my top 5.
At some point, I think that maybe next year we should have a look at Trading Places as well.
Oh, yeah, that's a Christmas movie. I forget that. Yes.
I'm assuming then, in terms of swapping, it's straight going to be James Stewart for Bill
Jimmy
Murray.
Stewart for Bill Murray, yeah. So Francis Xavier Cross is going to meet the angel
Clarence.
Clarence. Oh my goodness, my brain farted there. I couldn't remember. Thank you. And oh my goodness, and Jimmy Stewart is
George Bailey.
George Bailey is going to meet the 3 spirits of Christmas, and this is interesting because these movies they're mirror opposites of each other. One's about a man travelling into miserliness and being prevented from doing so by his guardian spirit, compared to a man who has been miserly his entire life and has been granted one last chance at redemption. They're literally travelling in opposite directions.
Absolutely.
It's going to cause some interesting situations.
It is, but I think it's going to work.
Clarence is going to have his job really seriously cut out, trying to convince this guy that the world's going to miss him.
Yeah, that's true. And that's right at the end of that's in the third act of the film. So
It's going to be a tough one. It's going to be a tough one. We're setting ourselves quite a task here. I can see George Bailey. I think his trajectory is pretty safe because of the type of person he is. Francis Xavier Cross, on the other hand, well, no, he's got some redeeming qualities in his older self, his younger self. But what has Cross brought to the world?
Mostly misery.
Exactly. And this is why Clarence is going to have a hell of a job with this one.
It's an interesting setup as well, because you've effectively got 2 Scrooges now. Because Potter, in this, is effectively Scrooge. So that's going to throw a bit of a...
Well, no, I can see that. Instead of a miserly need to prove everybody weak and cruel, a miserly need to prove that you're the better person.
So you've got George trying to do his thing with the building and loan for the benefit of the people. You've essentially got 2 oligarchs fighting it out in this small town.
Oh. See, I don't know if it works, I don't know if we'll break it, but that is an interesting story.
It is, definitely. In terms of our acts, for this, I wasn't sure. For the end of Act 1, I didn't know whether it should be his first speech to the board after his father's death that stops him from going to college, or if it should be the point where he gets married.
It should be the point when he gets married, because that's the black Monday, was it Black Monday, I think it was, when all the banks foreclosed and everything.
And they used their honeymoon money, didn't they?
Their lives irrevocably changed because of it.
Yes.
He'd made sacrifices previous to that, but he sacrificed essentially the beginning of his marriage to keeping his father's legacy afloat.
That does make sense.
And it leads, ultimately, to the crisis of faith that he has. Now, before he'd made sacrifices, but this is sacrificing his future. So that feels like that's the proper jumping point, yeah.
I did get it right.
Yay.
Just. And I called it the end of Act 2 is when he has one of the later meetings with Potter, and he says to him, you're worth more alive than dead. And that's where he puts the seed in his head to go and throw himself off the bridge.
Yes.
That just seemed like the obvious place to call the end of that act.
Well, that is. And we move into the third act when he does what he does.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'm inclined to say that it's not actually when he has that conversation with Potter, but when he has the conversation with Clarence when they're drying out his clothes and he snaps his fingers and the snow stops.
Oh, so when he makes him... Oh,
he makes the wish.
Okay. Yeah.
It's when he makes the wish, you know.
Yeah, that makes sense, yes, because there is still quite a lot that happens after that, isn't there? Yeah.
Again, it's an abrupt tone because literally outside the windows, the snow is gushing down, gushing down, gushing down. Clarence snaps his fingers and it all stops.
That's a clear division there, definitely.
Yeah. So I would argue that's actually the point when the second act. You're close, but 5 minutes?
Yeah, it's about that.
There's a couple of scenes in there.
It's just him going drinking, trashing the car, all of those kind of setups.
And then jumping off the bridge and being rescued by Clarence. But it's Clarence's decision.
Other way around. Clarence jumps off the bridge so that he doesn't.
Of course he does, yes. Yeah. But it's Clarence's decision to go, oh, yes, that might work.
Yeah.
And he clicks his fingers.
That makes sense. Like it. I haven't had a chance to review Scrooged yet, so I'm kind of relying on you for this one. But I looked at the obvious ones. It's a Christmas Carol.
The Marley equivalent, when he turns up in his golfing clothes as a zombie, drinking highballs through his throat that keeps leaking.
Yeah.
That's the end of the first act.
Just from knowledge of Christmas Carol, I think I called it as the appearance of the first ghost.
Oh, right.
I thought appearance of the first ghost for the end of the first act, disappearance of the second ghost for the end of the second act.
No, you're right, because when the Marley ghost appears, of course, he refuses. So that's the turning away.
Yeah.
He hasn't yet transitioned from one world to the next.
Yeah.
So he hasn't completed the first act. No, he hasn't. He turns him away. So you're right, it's when the first ghost kidnaps him.
Mm-hmm. I will just say at this point, when we were talking about this earlier in the year, we did kind of have a bit of a chat about which version of A Christmas Carol we should do, and at one moment we did briefly consider doing the Muppets Christmas Carol.
Briefly, but that would have been very difficult to explain.
Yes.
Very difficult.
So that's pretty straightforward. In terms of
the third act, where does the third act turn in Scrooge?
Well, I thought the disappearance of the second ghost when he leaves. My thought.
Yes, because that's when everything starts turning against him, and then, of course, culminates in Bobcat Goldthwait turning up with his shotgun.
Yes.
Talking about his little baby daughter.
Again, this is how long it's been since I've seen this film. I'd forgotten that.
That was actually the first movie I saw Bobcat Goldthwait in that wasn't Police Academy. And it was the first time I realised that he wasn't just putting on a silly voice for Police Academy. He talked this way all the time.
You know when he's in the room.
Yeah, you do. You know when Bobcat's around.
Brilliant. So that's pretty straightforward. In terms of names for our new films,
yeah,
I had It's a Scrooge Life and Wonderful.
Oh my god. That really works.
It does, doesn't it?
That really works. Have a gold star.
Oh, before we even started, brilliant. I'll have to find them.
No, both of those. I mean, it's a Scrooge Life, of course, but wonderful.
Yeah,
I like it. Excuse me while I burp, guys. Sorry. I really like that. That's a lovely.
I had to kind of roll it around my head a bit for a while, and then as soon as you kind of
it works. It really, really works. Yeah, I definitely take that one.
I don't know what the stars are at the moment, but I shall make sure I put one in there for next time. So, which one do we want to do first?
Oh,
your call.
I quite often like to do the one that works best first. that would be wonderful.
Mhm.
But actually, I want to have a go at the one that might break first.
Okay.
Because I'm intrigued.
There's rain in the delirium.
Where?
What kind of rain?
Uh,
No, I'm not going to say anything else.
I kind of fancy seeing how Francis Xavier Cross does with the Angel Clarence.
Okay.
It tickles me. It
Yeah.
tickles me. I'm not sure if it'll work, but it's going to be fun.
It is, definitely.
Definitely going to be fun.
Although, it's a bit strange. It feels a bit Spartan in here all of a sudden.
In the past, the Delirium has provided. I'm sure it will do so once again.
Absolutely.
I'm just assuming that because otherwise we're going to starve.
Sorry, I'm laughing at something that's in my head. I'll have to tell you later. I can't tell you. Not that it's bad, but if you check our social media during the course of the week, you'll understand what I'm laughing about.
Okay.
Considering when this is going out, you'll have probably already seen it, so you'll know what I'm talking about.
What he says. I'm just taking his word for it.
So, we will be looking at It's a Scrooge Life, which we will be starting on next Wednesday. Act 1 of Bill Murray in black and white. Do we want to have Bill Murray in black and white, or do we want to have Bill Murray as the only thing in colour in a black and white film?
Oh, that's very meta.
It is a bit, isn't it? Yeah, let's not do that.
Yeah, let's not do that.
Cool. Well, thank you again for stopping by and spending a little bit of time with us. Hopefully you are all busy getting your Christmas shopping out of the way. That's, I suppose, one thing that we don't have to worry about here. Everything is provided for us in some shape or form.
One hopes. One hopes.
I can't wait to see what the powers that be have decided to get me to give to you for Christmas.
Yeah. Me too.
Anyway, until next Wednesday, have a brilliant weekend and a brilliant start to the week, and we shall see you then.
As always, guys, TTFN.
Ba 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 ba.